Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a resin video and I'm going to be experimenting with what happens when I use expired resin to make a 10-inch by 10-inch block. So I don't think that resin has an expiry date per se, but most brands will often put a shelf life of 12 months. And I have some resin just laying around that I wanted to use up, and I wanted to see what happens when I put it into a clear piece. And we're going to be using some bridesmaids flowers from my sister's wedding. So I want to see how that old resin that's, at least a year old will react with the flowers in clear resin. So if you're interested, stick around and let's go. So as I was mixing the resin up in the jug, I noticed that it was already looking really cloudy and weird. I'd never seen this before. It was almost like a milky white, and then pouring it into the mold, it had the same cloudy milky white appearance. You can't really see it too much here, but most of this isn't bubbles. Most of this is just like this weird cloudy color, and as you can see, it's not super clear, which is very unusual for a clear resin like this. And then here I go with my mixing stick. I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit more, hoping that that cloudiness is going to go away, and it does not go away at all. It's at this point I'm starting to think I've made a huge mistake and I've wasted my bridesmaid's bouquet on this experiment because I have no idea what is going to happen next, and it's not looking good. Then in this next layer, there's like all these chunky pieces of resin that I have to try and fish out, and it took me absolutely ages to get all these chunky pieces out, and it was really gross. It was like flakes of resin. This layer here, you can see a bit of that cloudiness there up in that top corner. It's definitely looking super strange and just like frosted and not at all what it should be looking like. And then here I'm just putting the last layer of resin on. Now truthfully, this is a different brand of resin altogether because I actually ran out of my expired resin. So here I'm using the U resin casting resin just to finish it off. So we're going to demold today. It's been 24 hours since I did the last pour on top, and I'm just really anxious to see how this comes out. Looking at it from the top, like it's looking quite clear, which is really positive. So hopefully that's a good sign. Like, look how clear that looks. That looks really good. I'm really excited. I'm a little bit nervous that this surface isn't level because I can see like that doesn't look level. But then I'm wondering if it's just that the rod's in the mold. I don't know. Anyway. This is a test piece, so I'm not really concerned. Okay, so this is our finished piece, and it's actually looking pretty good. I can see some weird swirly things going on in the resin here on like the back side and in some of those top layers. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that very well, but I can see it. Anyway, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this as like a tester piece to see what was gonna go wrong. It's not too bad.
And I think I'll be using this as a display for my wedding expos coming up in February. So we'll be using this as our 10-inch by 10-inch display. I just have to go around and sand all these sharp edges. But I quite like this little like bouquet style where all the flowers kind of look like a mini bouquet. I think it's kind of cute. Leave a comment below, let me know what you think of this little experiment. I definitely wouldn't do this for a bridal order, but as a little tester experiment, I'm pretty happy that that's our result. It's nice and clear and it looks quite good. It's also important to note, I think, that all these flowers are air dried, so it definitely had some color change in the flowers. They went a bit darker than the photo that I took before I poured resin on them, so they're quite dark now. And this status here was actually purple before I started. It was like this beautiful, hold on, let me see if I can find it. So that status was like this beautiful purple color, and it turned like dark green. That's it there. So definitely important to make sure that flowers are not exposed to the open air before putting them in resin. These ones were, they were just sitting in a bucket like out in the studio. But when I do bridal orders, you get your own little box and the flowers are just packed away nice and safe so that they can stay dry.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.